Hey everyone, welcome back to RC Camping and Crawling. Today we're up on top of the beautiful mountain overlooking the city. Sunrise is about to be epic, it looks like. And what we have, speaking of epic, is two of my favorite RC cars. So we have the HPI Venture 18 rather, and the Traxxas TRX4M. So what today's video is going to be about is comparing the two. So the HPI Venture 18, it's relatively stock. It's got some wheels on it, Injora 7kg servo now, and a light bar. It's around $300 Canadian total for this kit. Now this Traxxas TRX4M I've been working on for quite a long time, and it's up to about $900 Canadian. It's got the 2-speed transmission from Traxxas. It has the Traxxas Brushless motor kit, Injora drivetrain, axle housings and such, Treal wheels, the Proline kit, carbon fiber chassis, Proline Shocks, Treal brass weights. Like it's pretty rigged up. So looking at the average price, it's kind of around $900. So in today's video, what I want to find out is it worth it? Can this $300 HPI hold its own against a fully modified Traxxas TRX4M? Now, I'm not saying that the modifications weren't worth it on the TRX4M, because this truck did need modifications. It tumbled a lot out of the box. It was very top heavy. Great trail truck, but not very great for really anything else. So after all these mods, it's a really, really good crawler and one of my favorites. This one, however, was great right out of the box. So what I want to figure out here is, if you were going to spend that kind of money, which one should you get? Do that research for you so you don't have to buy both. Today we're going to take both these RC cars, a kind of similar path like we normally do. So I'm going to come around, drive where those little trucks are now, come around here, you know, get some scale footage up this little cut line, which is a pretty good test. You know, some good rocks to try out in here. It's pretty cold today, but they're both cold, so it should be fair. Then we can try the speed run down here. So we can go from top, kind of where we are now, all the way down to that second little peak there. That's usually where I like to test out the speed gears. I know it's a similar run to the last video, but it just works so well for comparing these little trucks. Look at that. Doesn't that look pretty? Don't know if this will let me zoom in. Wow. Absolutely gorgeous morning here today. It's worth it for being so cold. Okay, so that's the plan. We got a beautiful day up here in the mountains. Got them all to ourselves. Got these two little fun trucks. Let's see how these things do. I'll start the first run with the HPI. Line there. Okay, so the first line to compare these two trucks is going to be up this cut line right here. You can kind of see there. The HPI is in low range for this. HPI made it up there. Time for the Traxxas. Traxxas is in low gear. Of course, this one's brushless. So it's not a true comparison. We don't have the HPI brushless. The HPI is just brushed, but you know, it's all part of the show here. Choose a different line. But I choose a different line. I wasn't really paying attention to the screen or to the car. I was looking at the phone. Camera, I mean. I don't, a different angle here maybe? There we go. Okay, so the tube made it past the first point, and the sunrise is looking even more epic, especially if you go back this way. Pretty pretty. Okay, so now we got to get down from up here. So to do that, we're going to basically turn 180 with the trucks, go down this little kind of valley here, around this point, and then kind of down where that so is. Flashers on here. Low beam's probably fine. I made it down here no problem. Hike back up here and grab the Traxxas. Excuse me while this sunrise is getting super epic. Back to the Traxxas. Okay, so now we got the two little trucks. So obviously that wasn't very steep, wasn't super rocky. The HPI did get caught up on some of the stuff some of the rocks underneath. You can tell it just doesn't quite have the same ground clearance as this one, and that's mostly due to the Injora axles. They're just a little smaller and they kind of have that smooth shape to them. So, but all in all, fairly close. Throttle's actually easier to control in the HPI, to be honest, which is interesting. Now we'll take both trucks and do a bit of a speed run here down this little open section to the other peak. So I'll put both trucks in high gear, so the fast gear, and we'll see how fast they can go. Now the Traxxas is brushless, so I suspect that one's gonna be faster. But for the 2-speed operation, I actually gotta reach under the Traxxas body and flip the switch. So we'll start with the HPI. Leave the controller there. With the HPI in high speed. There we are. Okay, let's get the Traxxas. Got the Traxxas. But I can't shift it from here. So, for those of you who haven't seen this, it's pretty cool, the transmission, but you just shift it from in here. So you got this little lever, shift. Now you're in high speed. Okay, we got her in high speed now, so let's see how fast this thing goes and how stable it is. It's fast. So in that speed section, comparing the brushed HPI to the brushless Traxxas, the Traxxas is obviously with the brushes quicker for sure. It's way more bouncy. That may just be the way I have the suspension set up on the Traxxas, but it's a lot more bouncy and kind of hard to control. So it's going left and right. It's not staying straight. They both have the same servo in them, so I don't know if that's just the linkage setup or what I can do about that, but yeah, super interesting. I thought that'd be a different comparison than that. So yeah, both still really fun. HPI definitely easier to control, feels more planted, but the Traxxas is a lot faster. Kind of finish off the second part of this speed test here. Kind of go around, it'll make it up onto this really sunny point. I'll shift it into low gear right about there. I'll put an arrow on the screen, shift it to low gear, go to the top. I don't know how long these batteries are gonna last, just staying on this whole time, and it being so cold, but yeah, I'll keep playing around. And I'll grab the HPI. High speed. Where we will shift into a low gear and try out some of these rocks here. And someone at the top. Traxxas time. Okay, so I got both trucks back. The high speed route was super fun. The second half was cool. Both trucks are a lot of fun. There's not a huge difference though, so far between the two, between $900 and $300. HPI is easier to control. That may just because it's got a slightly better throttle curve, not being brushless maybe, I'm not sure. It's tough to tell so far, so we need to do another crawling session here first. I do just want to touch on one thing though. I don't know why Traxxas remotes, and this is my own opinion, I bought all of these cars with my own money. Why are Traxxas remotes the size of a planet? They have one function, trim, and it's absolutely massive. You know, you get this HPI one, which I think is a Spectrum controller, and it's got all these many functions, dip switches, all sorts of stuff. It even comes with the one-handed thumb thing out of the box, and it's like, it's inches smaller. It's shorter, it's narrower, fits better in your hand. It has all these functions. I don't know why Traxxas remotes are so big. And my own opinion, if you're gonna build a little RC car like this awesome TRX4M, why would you make the remote bigger than the car? Like, I can put the TRX4M in my backpack, no problem, but the remote barely fits the two of them together. So you kind of make this awesome TRX4M RC that you have to pack this huge controller with it. So I don't know, maybe they could work on that. I know this controller's been out for a while, and maybe they'll make a smaller one for the next batch, but that is seriously lacking. Just compare the footprint that both of these cars take up with their controllers, right? We know the truck's about the same size, but it is so much more space. So you could fit the HPI in your backpack with the gimbal that I'm using now to record this, my microphones, all that good stuff. I barely can with the Traxxas. So, and that's not because of the truck, just because this remote is, yeah, the size of a small planet. So anyways, that's enough of my vent about the remotes. That's my own opinion, of course. And like I said, I did pay for these with my own money. Okay, I'll put the HPI in low gear. There we are. This one's a bit tricky. I think I've done it before, but I tried to do it with the chains, I should say. No problem. I think it'll do it. There we go. So that's the line. I'll do that exact line in the Traxxas. Okay, I'll just put this in low gear. I do think it's kind of cool. Now guys, I'll say that both RCs, although they both have aftermarket wheels, they both have factory tires. So both these trucks have the same tires that it would come out of the box with. choose a different line here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Both made it through checkpoint 1. To get this up there. There we go. Okay, so there it is. I'm sure you're all very curious to know what my thoughts are. And like I said, it's just my opinion. I bought both with my hard-earned money. Both RCs. I put all the parts in myself. It's all part of the hobby, right? I really enjoyed it. So, but you know, between these two cars, the one on the right, the HPI, is just over $300. It was $225 or something, and then plus about $100 or $80 in parts, which include the, you know, Injora 7kg servo, the Injora wheels, and that light bar, as well as the 180 motor heatsink that's in there as well. Very, very lightly modified. It did everything that this $900 plus Traxxas TRX4M could. So I don't have a stock TRX4M K10 truck to really compare these two. Only a trail truck. I think that was their whole goal, but you know, it was very top heavy. It'd flip over. It certainly wouldn't do any of these rock lines out of the block. Compare the two, the $300 versus the $900. They both completed the same runs, and actually the HPI did these last few challenge runs here better in every kind of measurable way. Brushless motor in the Traxxas affords some lots of freedom in regards to speed. You got a lot of speed, a lot of power. You have that FOC field oriented control, I believe it's called, that keeps the wheels going the same speed. That was really nice for the crawling. But the factory tires just don't have the grip. So maybe some different tires on there might help. But these were factory tires. So you didn't have as much power with this little brushed one, but it didn't feel like you needed it. The truck is slightly lighter than this one because this one's got a bunch of brass on it, but yeah, it didn't feel like you needed it. So to look under the hood, you can see this TRX4M's got a lot of cool upgrades. Got the brass bars here, the brushless motor, which is super small, super cool, the 2-speed transmission, the new 1000 milliamp hour battery, carbon fiber frame, Proline Shocks, kind of the works. This little truck has a lot of modifications on it. That's what it looks like under the hood. The HPI under the hood has the 7kg servo, so you can see it's the same servo in both trucks. I have the little heatsink, which isn't necessary today, but it looks cool. That's actually a Traxxas heatsink. That's a pretty cool part. Pop that on there. Other than that, it's stock battery, stock everything. We also have the Traxxas Light Bar, which is another cool part that fits really, really well. So completely stock underneath. I guess to sum it up, if you're looking for a car that you can buy, put a ton of modifications in, you know, really spend the time buying all these parts, installing them, learning that, the TRX4M currently is probably the way to go. It's going to cost you a lot of money. Like I said, it's about $900 for this setup, Canadian, $900. But you know, it's a lot. You get a lot of enjoyment out of customizing it, and you'll get a pretty capable truck. Now, if you just wanted a truck you could buy right out of the box, that was super capable, and you could drive right out of the box, I'd get the HPI Venture over the TRX4M. So between the two trucks, HPI Venture, you put some nicer wheels on it if you want, customize a little bit, and yeah, it'll do everything you want to do with that truck. It's not a rock crawler, it's more of a trail truck, but these both are. So I would go HPI. And I guess that really sums it up. When I go camping and I want to put one truck in my backpack, I'm going to be grabbing this little guy. I'm going to be grabbing the HPI Venture. It's going to fit my backpack. I don't have the Planet Neptune for a controller. And, you know, it's light, it's simple, stock. I am really excited to see what the aftermarket comes out with this, because where this TRX4M beat it was with those Injora axles, those diamond axles. They slid over the obstacles better than these plastic ones. So I'm really excited to see what the aftermarket comes out with this. I think this truck could be a hot little truck. So yeah, exciting video today. I hope this helped if you're deciding between the two. Like I said, just my own opinion. Lots of fun either way. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to put them in the comments there, and I will get back to every one of them I can. If you haven't already, feel free to give this video a like. Also, if you haven't already, hit me up with a subscribe. Greatly appreciate that. Helps me keeps me going, keeps this content flowing. Thanks again for watching. We'll talk to you in the next one.